We are live. Oh, there's Robert in the chat. Tyler, we haven't seen him for a while. What's up, my guy, Robert? I haven't even seen you in the DMs for a while. Robert's been laying low. Oh my God. We have a guest today, and I didn't send him the link, Tyler. What the hell is wrong with me? JC, I'll tell you after the show why I spaced out on that. But I'm telling you, it is actually a real reason.
Spread's still in a different dimension right now.
Dude.
He doesn't even know he's looking at a computer screen right now. He thinks I'm right in front of him.
But I'm here.
Do I got to send him the link, or do you got it?
I just sent it to him.
Okay.
I'm so stupid. But dude, that's how our night went, bro. At about 6 p.m. Eastern, it was looking like a sweep. Celtics were up by like 20. Magic were kicking ass. Raptors were kicking ass. And what was the other? Oh, Philadelphia was up by like 15. Oh my gosh. What a terrible night. We'll talk about it for 2 minutes before JC comes on. What are your thoughts?
I'm never betting on the Celtics again.
You can't say that.
They're frauds, and they're just going to do exactly what they do every year, flame out in the playoffs, because that's the first time they've played clutch minutes in over a month, and they look like they were deer in the headlights. They don't know what to do in a close game. They have still one of the dumbest coaches in the league. They can only play with a lead, and you're not always going to play with a lead in the playoffs. So waste your money on them to make the finals or win it. They're not going to do it.
I agree, and I'll use last night as an example. They don't run plays with the game on the line.
They have no plays. They legit just huck up threes.
Well, they run plays during the when they're building that.
Their best player freezes when the game is on the line, and then their second best player that they pay the most money in the league has one hand and is useless in the playoffs.
Didn't you think that should have gone to Porzingis?
Yeah, I mean,
they should have done. They should have got Porzingis involved. He should have at least been setting a pick, or just feed it to him in the post. And you know what's stupid? And this happened in both of our games, Tyler. They run the freaking clock down. And then both games, because we were both on the Nuggets Live to try and win our money back, there was a tip after the thing went. You don't need to run the clock all the way down.
Yep.
When I was watching that too, when Jamal Murray ran it all the way down, I go, guys, get the best possible shot. So JC Zargo joins us. JC, my apologies for forgetting to send the link. I'll tell you why.
They can't hear us right now, but yeah. They pointed at it.
What's going on?
There he is.
What's up, buddy? My apologies, but we are so happy to have you here. How's everything been with you?
Oh, no complaints here, man. You know, been a solid betting season for me. I got no complaints. Life's pretty good.
All right. Well, we always did well working together.
True.
During the football season. So we got to keep that going. I was just complaining that last night, if you would have asked me about 5:45 Eastern, we were set up for a complete sweep, and it all flipped. and we ended up losing everything. So we need to get back on track, but that's life in the NBA. It's a make or miss league, and it's make or miss when it comes to betting. But JC, we haven't talked to you for a while. Do you have any overall hot takes here on the NBA? Tyler says the Celtics aren't going to make the finals. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird, man. It's nice to finally see some parity in the NBA. I think it's wild that basketball is your favorite sport, but you hate on baseball for not having parity. But I don't know. I agree, though.
Tennis is my favorite sport, but there's not a lot of parity there either.
Well, also no parity there, at least.
Right? I mean, Djokovic wins every time, right? Until he turns 38.
I agree with Tyler, though. It's like the Celtics are too much of a favorite. And it just seems to rarely work out for a team like that. They do get the benefit of, I don't know at what point they'll be challenged in the Eastern Conference, because while the Bucks are starting to heat up, they're liable to choke. So, they would have to make it to the conference finals. I don't know if that's going to happen. So that's kind of my biggest concern with that take. It's who's going to beat them, Tyler?
Miami, New York gets their guys back healthy. I think New York could definitely beat them. Embiid shows up. That's a huge problem because now they don't have the coaching advantage against Philly, and Embiid trounces everyone in their front court.
We took Philly at 34-1 yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're a Nick Nurse led team now, if he shows back up, they have a coaching advantage against every team in the East not named Miami.
Yeah.
And they probably have the best player on the floor in every series with Embiid on the floor.
My hot take would be I don't think a top 4 team out of the West is going to make it to the finals.
That's a bold one.
I don't know, but I don't see that the Timberwolves don't do it. I mean, we saw some sloppy play last night. If you caught, was it Cat or Ant that missed the tip?
That was Ant that missed the tip.
Yeah. But I don't know. They're not gonna. They can't get over the top. Like, they're too young. They're not gonna do it this time. Same with OKC. I'm a Clippers fan, but I mean, injuries will dismantle this team by the time a deep playoff run, but by that time of year. Just to spice, I mean, sure, obviously the Nuggets are a contender, but just to kind of keep the take a little bit spicy, I'll say they won't. Obviously, they have the best chance of the 4, but I see a team like a Mavericks or a Phoenix, kind of putting something together. I also like the Pelicans if they could return, to the playoffs with a fully healthy team.
Of all the teams that you mentioned, I think I like Phoenix the best.
Yeah.
Phoenix has got a lot of hate this year, but like when you watch them and when Booker and KD want to play, like, they can bring it, right? And we talk about all the time, you don't need depth in the playoffs. And yes, you'd like a little more enthusiasm out of those guys throughout the season, but just seeing what they're capable of, I definitely think they're very much a contender.
I mean, outside of the giant Jokic mismatch, a lineup of Booker, Beal, Durant, Royce O'Neal, and Grayson Allen is a nightmare for everyone else in the West. Because they put the 2 guys in the corner that are lights out from 3, and those 3 just take you one-on-one until one of them gets their shot.
Yeah,
it's definitely wide open this year. Although I still feel I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Nuggets Celtics final. Any other?
Absolutely not. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting money on that. It's just the 2 best teams we've seen so far. Any other general NBA thoughts, JC?
I got one more team that I don't think they could beat Boston in a playoff series. I think they can give them all hell, though, and they match up very well. Tell me Orlando can't turn a series into a rock fight with Boston?
Yeah, they could. That would be a good match.
I mean, especially with the way the Magic are playing right now, it seems so crazy.
They always beat the Celtics in the regular season. That'd be one of those ones where it's like, oh, they're down 3-2, and they got to win 2 in a row, and one of them's in Orlando.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's a really good point. That would be so weird to even see Orlando take a game off of Boston, but the way they're playing right now, you'd have to consider that. You know what else? I think the teams at the bottom of the league are just as enjoyable to watch though this season, than some of the top teams.
That Washington-Utah game a few nights ago was one of the best games I watched all year.
Yeah, I mean, just because especially the promise that all those teams have. And even the Grizzlies, because you never know who's going to take the court for them, it can be pretty entertaining.
I'm an old guy, and I like to defend my old guys, but the league has never had more talent. And you're right. Even, Washington aside, I mean, even Detroit has Cade Cunningham, Jaden Ivey. Those guys are fun watches. Of course, San Antonio sucks, and tell me Victor's not must-see TV, right? And Portland's not even that bad. I mean, obviously they're not good, right? I don't even want to bet on them. But I'm just saying, if I went to your house and the Portland game's on, I'm not telling you to turn the channel.
Yeah. Where you sit, Tyler?
So here's a fun one for you, JC. Where's Victor rank right now on the list of players in the NBA?
Oh, I talked to my buddy that I work out with, Tyler. He was on my side, so I want to see where JC lands.
Man, that's a tough one. So it's kind of like, who do I want on my team right now for the remainder of the season?
No, it's just for one game right now. We're not doing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he's
not building for. I'm saying, for this season. I mean, he's got if he's top 25, he's like 20 to 25.
I'm way higher on him.
He's really? Tyler has him top 5. I said top 15.
If he's not 5, he's number 6.
No.
And who's above him?
Embiid, Jokic, Luka, SGA,
Giannis.
Giannis was the other one, yeah.
KD.
He doesn't have
point,
KD. He doesn't have LeBron. He doesn't have AD.
Curry.
He doesn't have Steph Curry.
Oh my
I mean, I think we're just overlooking the fact that his team sucks. Like the defensive impact that this kid is making on a team where he is legit the only player. Like you put him on some of these teams where these good players are at, these teams jump up in the standings. We just talked about it yesterday, spread. Oh, Luka's better than him. Yeah, Luka's got a 500 percentage in these crazy stat games that he puts up. He doesn't win games with these stats. These are empty stats. If you put him on San Antonio and you put Victor on Dallas, San Antonio stays exactly where they're at. Dallas jumped up in the standings.
How can you make that argument when he's only averaging 20 points a game?
Did you see how he's played recently?
I'll be honest, I haven't
In the
watched
last
the game
month and a half, like if you go off the whole
weeks.
season, yeah, it's going to say 20 points. But in the last month and a half since he's picked up play, he's been a top 5 to 6 player in the league.
In my best ball finals or quarterfinals 2 weeks ago, he was actually the top scorer. It went him 1, Giannis 2, Jokic 3, I believe.
I mean, so I just pulled up his game log. Like, yeah, I guess he's averaging more like 25, recently. But still, like, if your argument is he's not as good because he's on such a crappy team, I expect some seriously juiced numbers.
All right. Well, JC's on my side in that one. He's going to be so high in best ball. I'm just saying he scored the most fantasy points, Clyde.
I mean, because he's always going to get you 10 boards at least. Hey, man, those blocks, man.
Robert agrees with you.
The thing, there ain't another guy in the league that could play defense like him.
Bro, these block numbers are insane.
His blocks, if you just look at his block category, it looks like he's guys' assist categories.
Yes, it's the best block since Wilt Chamberlain, and they didn't do stats back then.
He had 10 blocks against Toronto.
Tyler, did you make that quadruple double bet?
No, I didn't. It's still 100 to 1 on FanDuel.
That he'll get a quadruple double before the end of the year. I still think it's a good bet.
I mean, in the one game, in his one triple double game on this game log, it's with blocks. He had 5 assists in that game.
Yeah.
To be fair, he got 5 blocks last night, and Şengün went for 45 on him.
He had 7 blocks last night.
5 on Şengün, I mean, individually. And Şengün still went for 45 or whatever he went for.
The problem is that only once this season has he had 10 assists.
He's a center, though.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, with that bet.
Oh, for the quadruple double bet. Okay.
Yeah.
Do we just need all we need is Trey Jones to go down and Sohan to just be off doing some dumb stuff because we don't need him running point again. If we get point Victor, he's going to get that quadruple double.
No, 100%. And like he's got plenty of games with like 6 or 7, so it's kind of just right situation. He can hit it.
All right. Any other overall NBA topics you want?
Man. No. It's kind of the extent of my thoughts at the moment.
We got the chat going. Glad to have Robert back in here. Let's jump in. I was hoping Mikey would show up to troll me. Mikey, if you're listening, I'm disappointed in you. The Orlando Magic are -7. They're in Washington. They're taking on the Wizards. Total's 224.5. Tyler, all season we've been fading the Wizards at home, which is weird because usually for these bad teams, right? Maybe sometimes you take them as home dogs and then you always fade them on the road. Like, for example, last year the Pistons was bet at home, fade on the road. But Washington sucks at home. Maybe this is a tribute to that great Washington, D.C. nightlife here. Overall, Washington 9-19 against the spread at home this year. The Magic 21-13. Other interesting stats here. Magic 6-6 against the spread on the second game of a back-to-back after a day off. Washington's, this is actually pretty good for them. 25-24-1. So maybe that's one little stat in their favor. Let me pull up the projections, Tyler. I had this projected as a 9-point Magic win, and they're laying 7. Magic Wizards, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the Magic just kind of named their score here. I don't know if I want to get involved on 7, though, because back-to-backs have been a little rough for them. But this Washington team, they don't really do much for me. Outside of maybe like I was maybe gonna bet them in that Utah game because Utah had a bunch of guys out. In the end, they still lost that game. Now, why would I want to fade them against a fully healthy Orlando team right here? Like, Orlando's not missing any of their key pieces. It's like, oh, Jonathan Isaac and Gary Harris are out. Those guys don't play much anyway. So I think it's Orlando or pass for me. They've dominated this Washington team. They haven't really been blowing them out. So I'm just going to go back to the props that worked for us in the last Washington game. Give me Avicii's rebounds and give me them 10 plus at like plus 200. That 10 plus dropped way down from that plus 425 we hit on Monday. So I'll gladly take the plus 180, though. I think he gets 30 plus minutes, and he's hit that 5 of his last 5. So I'll take a shot on that.
All right. JC, I need to bounce back after a bad yesterday. Orlando was tempting. The projections do like them. To be fair, my projections haven't been money this year like they were last year. It just shows you how much you always have to constantly evolve in this game. What do you think of the Wizards and the Magic?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind Tyler's play. Like, I don't blame him. The numbers you threw out at the start of the segment, would make one hesitant to bet Orlando, but I'm not really going to overthink it. Orlando is, playing like the best team in the league right now. They've won straight up and at the spread 4 games in a row. Washington is without question the worst team in the league right now. They've lost 3 of the last 4 at the spread, right? Everyone knows they're on a tremendous losing streak. So you're not worried about Washington winning, right? You're just worried about a backdoor cover. But I think Orlando's playing too well. 7, I think, is a decent enough number, right? It's not like those double digits where it's like, man, just like, in the last minute, Washington could, pull a cover. But I just think Orlando's playing too well, and I'll gladly lay the 7 to take the Magic tonight.
All right. Looks like we agree on the Magic. We'll see if we can get Tyler to join us. Tyler wants to go back to those Danny Avicii props. Gary Harris, Jonathan Isaac out for Orlando. Marvin Bagley out for the Wizards, which means Rashawn Holmes is starting. Kings fans, we've seen this before. All right, next game. You ready? I already know Tyler's going to hate me now. Because I want to bet on the Atlanta Hawks minus 2.5 over the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think this is a great letdown spot for the Cavaliers coming out that emotional win over the Boston Celtics. The problem is it's with the Atlanta Hawks. To be fair, the Hawks haven't been that bad lately. What do you think, Tyler?
I hate you for one reason on this one, spread. Where the hell was his confidence at with its team yesterday? You were like, I can't bet on the Hawks. They're the worst ATS team in the league. I'm like, I'm playing the Knicks. The Knicks fucking are missing half their damn roster. You're like, can't do it. But now we want to bet them when they just played a game last night in New York and they fly back to Atlanta. Like, yeah, they probably should win this game, but I feel like we should have been rolling free money on this, and we're not. So I'm fine taking them.
Okay, but I can't go back and change the past, Tyler. Let's only worry about what we can control. I apologize. I said that you're seeing the board really well, and I'm giving you control of the sheet today. Now that you have the power, what do you want to do with this game?
I mean, I wanted it yesterday, but if you want to take the Hawks, if we want to take the Hawks today, I mean, I'm going to hold my nose and say, let's do it. But I wanted them yesterday. I'll say that.
I mean, this is a crazy letdown spot. So, JC, I got to answer a phone real quick. Talk about this game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, I hate betting on Atlanta Birds teams. They burned me so many times. So I'm never really one to lay one on the Hawks. However, I don't think Cavs are right there with inconsistent play, right? I mean, look at their last 2. Beat Boston, lost to New York. Beat Detroit, lost to Chicago. So, I mean, extremely inconsistent play out of them this season. So, I would have a lean toward the Cavs. If you guys are liking the Hawks, then I'm definitely not betting the Cavs. Not that I probably would have anyways. Yeah, I mean,
how are the
Atlanta
Hawks
home,
recently? Though? If we're trying to find, I mean, they're 3-2 against the spread over their last 5.
Although the Cavs have won their last 3 straight up and at the spread against Atlanta.
Yeah.
Last 4 in a row at the spread.
Cavs are 2-6 when they're catching between +1 and +4.
Yeah.
Cavs are also 3-0 against Atlanta ATS this year, but Cavs are 3-7 against the spread on a back-to-back. But the Hawks are 3-7 against the spread on a back-to-back.
I'm gonna say all these stats point to it's a close game, which the spread already indicates. And I just I hate betting on an Atlanta team that is not called the Braves.
We were getting 3 points with them. I hate to go back to it, but we were getting 3 yesterday with them. We didn't want it. Now we're laying 3 with them, and we won it.
They're also at home.
They were playing a G League roster yesterday. Miles
Can we not relitigate yesterday?
I'm just saying.
My Knicks are down bad. I know. They need to get healthy.
It's like one of those things where it's like, oh, we didn't want to bet this NFL team this week because they were laying 3, and now they're laying 12, and we want to lay it. Like,
that is very spread. That is so spread.
I don't see it. Like,
I like the Hawks. We'll see if we actually bet it. Anything more on this game?
mm-mm.
Yeah. All right. Memphis Grizzlies are catching 5.5 in Philadelphia, taking on the 76ers. Total is 212. Philadelphia let us down yesterday, Tyler. And Tyrese Maxey is going to be out again. And I hate to say it, but I was right about Mo Bamba. He sucks.
He's
he's bad. That game was really weird. That game had watching that current iteration of the team. I don't know what to make of this one. What do you think, Tyler?
If Jaren Jackson plays, I could bet Memphis.
His props are up.
I mean,
or not?
Who's gonna run point for Philly? Lowry out. Maxey out. D'Anthony Melton. So yeah, it's probably gonna have to be Payne. Do you want to lay 5 with a campaign-led starting lineup?
No, I don't want to take Philly.
It'd be Memphis or pass for me. I don't see him up yet. Kelly Oubre is going to get a shit ton of minutes in this game. You got the ball in his hands a shit ton too. When his assist props pop, I want those and I want the alts. Even when Lowry was out there yesterday and we tried to bet his alts, Oubre was able to get a couple assists yesterday. With these guys out, someone's going to have to create shots, and he's a guy that can create his own shot and find other guys. So I want his assist props when they pop.
All right, that sounds like a plan. JC, I didn't have a lot on this game, and I don't really trust my projections either. What do you think about it?
Man, betting on Memphis is wild. You just really never know what you're going to get from this team. You never know who's going to take the floor. They're like starting 5, and their 2 best bench players have been out for quite some time. I guess Triple J might be back tonight, but it's just weird, right? Like in a year like this, it's normally, being a team you track closely, you should be able to find the trends. And for a while, with all these large spreads, you were being able to take them because they get the backdoor cover. But now we're starting to see, the points you're getting with them just decrease, and you just never know, right? Like I was shocked that they were basically a pick 'em for both those Portland games, both of which they lost tragically. And then they go out and they beat Brooklyn. So you just don't know what you're going to get. This team plays well, though. Taylor Jenkins does not get enough credit. Like, everyone's just mad at him for the collapses they've had in the postseason, which I think are injury-ridden. Because of injuries were the reason for those, not his fault. But, whoever he puts out there, they play hard. So all this really to say, you never know what you're going to get out of this team. Philly's got injuries, so could it be a good look at Memphis? It's a decent shot, but you really want to only get 5.5 when you've never even heard of most of the guys taking the floor for Memphis. And that's kind of what it's been all season, and I personally just can't do it. So long-winded way of saying I have no interest in touching this game.
All right, great. Let's just move on to your favorite team. We'll start with you, JC. The Clippers are in Houston. They're laying 6.5 on the road. Oh my gosh, that's a tough one here. The Clippers are 16-15 on the road this year, 26-21 as a favorite, and 12-8 as a road favorite. These are all against the spread. They're 26-24 after a day off, but Houston did cover the one time they met earlier this year. The Clippers are coming off the 7-point loss in Milwaukee. That was the second game of this road trip. Houston just coming off a win over the Spurs where they covered, And I mean, so Russ is out, so there's no like secrets or surprises on this injury report. Jeff Green and Jabari Smith are the two players that we're waiting on right now on the Houston side. JC, your favorite team, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, like all signs point to Los Angeles. I mean, with this team, though, you really never know who's going to start, though. So I would definitely want to check that, see the starting lineup, make sure who we think is playing, right? Because being in Houston, easy game, you could see them, some rest from some of these guys. But coming off of that loss against Milwaukee, I think it's going to be a beatdown. They kind of, edged out Minnesota the night before, and then that loss against LA. So I think they really need to reestablish themselves and have a big win here. So, like I said, as long as that starting lineup is who we think it's going to be, I'll go ahead and lay 7.
JC likes the Clippers. What do you think, Tyler?
I'd probably just stay away from the side in this game. I mean, Houston at home has been where they're better at this year.
Good point.
The Clippers have been struggling. They should win this game, but it's just a weird one. I'd much rather just bet this Harden over 26.5 points plus assists. He's topped that in 5 of the last 6 versus the Rockets. That goes all the way back to his days in Brooklyn. You look at his recent games, he put up 29 and 8 against Milwaukee, so he covered that number just in points. He had a terrible showing against Minnesota where he scored 4 points and had 10 assists. Then 28 and 8 against Washington, 23 and 9 against the Lakers, 20 and 8 against the Kings. And then he only had 9 points against Memphis, but had 8 assists. So if he gets us into that 20-point range, he's going to cash this easily. I don't think Houston's got the defenders to slow him down. He's going to get close to 20. He's going to get a ton of assists, over 26.5 on his points plus assists.
Yeah, I like him, especially in the assist category here.
Yeah, I like that way more.
You did mention these teams struggling, or the Clippers struggling. They're 3 and 8 against the spread in their last 11. Right after we jumped on them and thought they were going to cakewalk to the finals. Houston is 4 and 2 against the spread. So after really like a tough January and February, Houston seems to get back on track. Any game or any team we read out, it's all going to trend to the unders with the way those are looking lately. Although I don't know if there's the edge there because the market just hammers unders the second they come out. I can understand the 6.5, but probably will just end up staying away. Another road favorite is the Chicago Bulls, who are minus 3.5. They're in Utah taking on the Jazz. Total here is 224. I have this game. Where do I have
the Bills just cut their star corner.
Who?
Tre'Davious White.
He's probably not healthy anymore. I have this game projected as only a 1-point Bulls win, but I don't feel these projections are strong because of the injury report and the fact that not only is Lauri Markkanen out, but Walker Hessler, who's this, the Hendricks guy? Was that the rookie?
It's a rookie, Taylor Hendricks.
Yeah, we liked him. And Keontae George all out, which means we have a starting lineup in Utah. This is expected. Chris Dunn, Colin Sexton, Bryce Sensabaugh, Luka Samanic, and John Collins. On the other side, Bulls relatively healthy with just Torrey Craig expecting to miss this game. So that starting lineup that the Bulls have been running out will be out there tonight. They're laying 3.5. We usually like to take Utah on at home, Tyler, but with this team being depleted, it's a tough ask here tonight. I actually lean towards Chicago. I love Utah on the road, but I lean towards taking the Bulls here just because this Utah team is bordering on Memphis territory as far as that injury report. What do you think, Tyler?
I'm on the other side of you here, spread.
Okay.
I'm on the other side of you for one reason and one reason only, is because Utah was starting to make this youth movement, and the two guys they were pushing very hard were Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks. Both are out tonight, and they're being replaced by veterans, and Chris Dunn and Colin Sexton's going to play more minutes. That also means Jordan Clarkson's still going to be in the rotation to get a shit ton of minutes. I think Utah wins this game outright. I would rather be on their money line. The only thing is Vucevic is going to have a giant size advantage on the inside. But how often do we see him just hang out on the 3 line and not use his size? All the time. They're at altitude. I could see Chicago coming in, winning the first half, and then Utah's pace with these guards just takes over the game, and they win the game outright. So I'd rather be on Utah than Chicago in this one. If you can find top point scorer and you can find Jordan Clarkson listed, I'd definitely bet that. But as of right now, FanDuel only has the starters listed. So you're going to get Clarkson at a nice number there. He could easily just step on the court, play 35-plus minutes, and score 30 points like he did the other night.
All right, Utah is 11-6 as a home underdog. JC, what do you think?
These are two teams I don't think I have watched them play a second this season, so I have zero thoughts on this one.
All right, thank you for your honesty. Tyler, we'll go back to that one, but I told you, you got control today, so if you want to add the Jazz, I'll join you. The Oklahoma City Thunder, minus 13.5 in Portland, taking on the Blazers. Totals 224. Tyler, I give credit to the books here because they've effectively priced me out of this game. I mean, I'm not betting the Blazers here, but 13.5. I mean, and the money line's too high. We don't even want to do the stupid parlays that didn't hit for us yesterday. Minus 880, total 224. My guess is you got a performance double for us or something.
I think they cover. I mean, what did they lose? 2 in a row?
2 of 3.
They've lost 2 of 3. San Antonio beat Phoenix, lost to LA.
Mm-hmm.
You just look at their recent games against this Portland team. Portland fought in that last game. OKC won it by 2 with this same line of 13.5. The game before that, they beat them 139-77. I'm pretty sure they were. Let me look at the schedule like all the way through. I'm pretty sure that was right around the same time. They had a little bit of like a sputter in the schedule, lost a couple. Then they get this nice easy cake match with Portland, and they just blow them out of the water to get back into a rhythm. So I think
it was also within 2 weeks of each other, so not really a back-to-back, but like they were close. Like they slaughtered them, played them again in like 10 days. So they just, kind of edged them, which you see a lot.
Yeah, so it looks like what? They lost 2 straight. Then they went Washington, Miami, Portland, and they won those 3 in a row before beating Orlando and then losing 2 in a row to the LA team. So really wasn't after much of a sputter in their schedule, just 2 in a row. But I'd rather lay it than take the points here. I don't even think SGA 30+ and win is going to be a good price here, but we could see what that pays out. What are your thoughts on this one, Jason?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, OKC's 10-0 in their last 10 against Portland, 8-2 against the spread. Like you said, they lost 2 of their last 3. One of them is to San Antonio, so that's a bad loss. They kind of want to right the ship, and Portland's going to be the whipping boy. They may be feeling themselves after going to Memphis and winning 2 in a row, but even being at home, I think OKC is going to go in there, kick some ass, and get out of there as quickly as they can.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're worried about them like not kicking ass and like, oh, they're going to be in a dogfight and they're only going to win this game by single digits, the win margin OKC 1-10 is plus 220. Wow. You often don't get that much of a price on that, so
yeah,
they're predicting that they walk this team off the floor. I easily think they could do it once they stop Simon. I am totally down for OKC just to blow them out. And if you want to use this OKC money line and SGA 30+ as like a parlay piece, it's minus 140, but I wouldn't lay that much juice.
Yeah, Keg jumping in the chat. Yeah, sorry about that, Keg. We had a late swap there.
He asked me like 10 minutes before the show, is he coming on? I was like, spread hasn't told me any different. And I get in.
That was my bad. And I was just acting kind of slow this morning. So, right now, Keg, and this is subject to change, it's supposed to be my guy 5-star in Vegas on Friday. Next Monday is going to be Dutch Boy Fresh. Next Tuesday will be... Who do we decide next Tuesday? Next Wednesday's Noops, and next Tuesday is... I'll let you guys know. But I told you earlier.
I can't even remember the same schedule.
Yeah, I know. But we've been reaching out to people. Oh, Punt School is supposed to be next Tuesday. Duh. All right. Oh, Clyde. Yep. We'll bring Clyde on. Once we get to 100 likes, Clyde, just help us promote the show. 100 likes and Clyde comes on the show. All right. So you like the Thunder, Tyler. We'll see if that becomes an official play. This next game I think is fascinating. And it's the high-profile game of the night. It's the Milwaukee Bucks taking on the Golden State Warriors. The Warriors are coming off that terrible, terrible loss. The Bucks are coming off the nice win, right, over the Clippers, right? Was their most recent game.
Correct.
The problem for this game for us, Tyler, right now is Giannis is 50-50 on the injury report. Warriors fully healthy. I've seen a lot of love for the Warriors in a bounce back spot here. I kind of agree. Our guy Razor here. Razor, I know you were on that winner yesterday for the Orlando under. Good work there, and I saw that you're on a nice little streak here. And we are going to be bringing Razor on in April when things slow down for him. But back to the Warriors, Tyler. It seems like a nice bounce back spot. Although if Giannis plays, I might like Milwaukee. What do you think?
Yeah, you said we were worried about Giannis news. I am not included in that we because I don't give a damn what he does tonight. I'm on the Warriors. He could play. He could be in street clothes. He can go all the way back to Greece for all I care in this game. So it doesn't matter. They're going to cover the 3. They just lost by 50 in Boston. Now they're returning on their home floor. We know that left a bad taste in their mouth. And they're playing a defense that plays drop covers against a team that can light them up from 3. This is Warriors by double digits. Lay the 3. If he's out, they're going to be, -7. So get on it now. Don't wait for Giannis. It doesn't matter. The Warriors are going to win this game.
I personally, I was thinking I wanted to go the other way.
Warriors are getting all their guys back, too. They legit don't have a guy on the injury report tonight.
Yeah, I know.
Wiggins is back. Like, that's big. Pods is back. Yeah.
Peyton.
I am
hasn't played for a while, and he's actually
in on Golden State.
Gary Payton's actually nice if you're going to have to deal with Dame.
Milwaukee's going to get shredded in the bench minutes when Clay and CP3 go out there too, and they just start running pick and rolls, and Clay's just lighting them up from 3. So, yeah, Golden State, Clay's 3s props. Golden State wins us by margin.
JC, Tyler's convincing. Do I just bet this right now?
I just did, man. I was on the fence. Both these teams were playing really well. But that was an inspiring speech by Tyler. So I locked it in for a unit. I'm debating going double units because
and like we're talking about a team that's played very well too. All right, this is since the break. They beat Minnesota as 4.5-point dogs. That was impressive. I remember watching that game. They took Minnesota's best punch and threw a punch back, and they won that game. Then they beat Philly by 21. What did he do? Philly's missing their best player. They don't have a matchup for Giannis. They don't have another big. Then they played Charlotte twice. They match up so well with Charlotte, I think they beat them by a combined 80 points in those 2 games. Then they played Chicago, another shitty team. Beat them 113-97. Then they should have lost that Clippers game a few nights ago, but chaos ensued in the 4th quarter, and they fought back and won that game by, 113-106 as 2.5-point dogs. Now they're going to go face a Warriors team at full strength on the West Coast. This is the best team they've played since the break. I think they get thrashed.
Yeah, I think my only argument to that point, though, is you're ignoring the fact that the Bucks. You wouldn't know that. So, that was just the thing, is you were talking about how great Warriors playing. The problem is the Bucks are playing really well. But again, when I'm this on a team like Tyler is, you need to fade. But one thing I'm learned is when Tyler's this inspired, just go ahead and back it. So I did it double units. I agree too. I would hate to wait and risk that number going up. So just take 3.5.
And it's an Achilles injury. They're not putting him out there with any risk that he goes down for the rest of the season.
For sure.
I wouldn't play him if I were them.
I was hoping to see some Pat Bev props so we could fade him. He is my boy, but he just played Clippers in Chicago, put up really good numbers. Those are both his former teams. So if anything does come up, just go ahead, take the under on the points or whatever, because he will not have another game like he's had.
The last 2 games played in Golden State with this matchup, I know you're not going to have really much to take from this because these were Drew Holiday teams, so they could play a lot more defense. They beat them 125-116 in March of last year as 3.5-point favorites. And they beat them 122-109 the last time before that they played in Golden State, and they were 2-point dogs on that one. You could argue this is the best Golden State team out of those 3 matchups, so now they're only laying 3. I think it's the easiest bet on the board.
All right, I just bet it. Anything more about this game?
That's it for me.
All right. Okay, as a Kings fan, this makes me happy because my guy Razor is in the chat, and he says he's got one play for tonight. He's taking the Kings plus 2.5. I don't know, Tyler. I was on the opposite. before hearing from him, but I don't know if I want to go against Razor. But let me talk you through the reasons why I was a little concerned about the Kings. Number one, they're kind of at their ceiling as a team, right? When they traded Tyrese for DeMontis, they basically said we were going to make the playoffs right now, but we kind of capped ourselves as a first, second round team exit. And we've seen when they don't go pedal to the metal full bore, right? I mean, they're like the Knicks, right? Our favorite teams, Tyler. They both try so hard during the regular season, they can't really up it, which is why I don't like them in a playoff scenario. And the reason I bring this up is I'm worried that this is a playoff scenario because the Lakers are right behind them in the standings. This is about the time when the Lakers usually put things into gear. And like I said, we just don't have another gear to go to. That being said, you know that when it comes to this matchup, I'm incredibly emotionally biased. And I don't know if I'm able to really make an objective call like I can with Hawks Cavaliers, Magic Wizards, Clippers Rockets, right? I see those just teams. My emotions are involved here, Tyler. So help me here. I was leaning Lakers. Razor, who is sharp, likes the Kings. Where do you land?
I'd probably lean the Kings. I mean, there's that trend where the Kings are huge favorites the game before. When they lose it outright that following game, they usually win by margin. Mm-hmm. They lost as 7-point favorites to Chicago in their last game. They've dominated this series against the Lakers. What are they, 6-1 straight up, and ATS in their last 7, and 7-1 ATS in the last 8 in LA. LA caught a great matchup against OKC where Chet just wasn't able to stop Anthony Wilt Chamberlain Davis. So, I mean, I'd be on the Kings here if I had to bet this one. I think Sabonis could slow them down. They got some wing defenders that can bounce around. They're going to win the bench minutes also. It'd be Kings or pass for me.
Yeah. On that, remember I told you I was listening to the Nate Duncan shooting guard rankings? Oh, no, I was telling my buddy that, not you. But he put Monk over Austin Reeves. What do you think of that call?
He put who?
He said he had Malik Monk ranked higher than Austin Reeves in his shooting guard rankings.
I mean, I don't mind that.
All right, JC, first of all, I got to say this is the liveliest chat we've had in a while. So obviously you deserve the credit. I see my guy Perfect Rotation in the chat. Perfect Rotation has been putting out plenty of college basketball picks on his Twitter. So make sure you're following him. He's a fun follow. And he's not afraid to recap when he has a tough day either. Just like we had to come on and do that at the beginning of the show. He's not afraid of accountability either. I see my guy Harry in here. And Harry hit a nice accumulator, as you call them, across the pond the other night. They're not parlays, they're accumulators. But he hit a nice one there. And we were opposite, Tyler, because for his final leg, it was that Thunder-Lakers game, and he took the Lakers, and we were on the Thunder. JC, what do you think of the Kings and Lakers, man? I admit that even though I lean the Lakers, there might be a lot of emotional scarring in that pick, and probably not the most level-headed source when it comes to a Kings-Lakers matchup. 2002 lives rent-free in my head. Thank you, Tim Donahue.
Yeah, I don't know why you have any interest in LA, right? Like, okay, the only thing they got going for them is their home record, which Sacramento's won their last 3 against LA, with 2 of those coming at the Crypt. Yes, LA's won 7 of their last 10, but it's only because they had a really easy schedule. They lost to pretty much all the good teams and have beaten mostly bad teams.
But the thing is, Sacramento's a good team.
Well, no, I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying with their current 10, right? So if you're looking like, oh man, they're 7-3 in their last 10. Okay, look who they played, and look who they beat, and look who they lost to. As for the Kings, I mean, they've been playing pretty solid ball, right? Like, I mean, in their last 10, they beat Denver 2 out of 3 times, beat the Clips, beat the T-Wolves. So, I mean, they're playing great basketball right now. And like I just said, recent history, they have, beaten the Lakers straight up and at the spread. So, I'll go ahead, jump on the money line. I think it's a really good look here tonight. And if any time I have the edge and opportunity to fade LeBron, I'm going to do it.
I mean, you know me, I love that idea.
Couldn't you always just back yourself right here with Kings first half, Lakers full game at 5-1? The Lakers are so bad in the first half. I said, couldn't you always back yourself here with Kings first half, Lakers full game at 5-1?
Yeah,
Lakers are so bad in the first half. They come roaring back in second halves all the time.
Yeah, I'm not against that. You know what I really like, Tyler? Just going off memory, and maybe you can look this up to support it. I think Sabonis always beasts against AD.
Here, give me a second.
I mean, if you want to just go to StatMuse and just put Sabonis against the Lakers, I think it's just going to be like monster numbers. And that was kind of the way I was thinking of approaching this one.
His matchups with AD. This we'll start with it in Indiana because he had the couple matchups where he didn't really play minutes for OKC yet.
Mm-hmm.
He had 18 and 13, 21, 10 and 6, 12, 5 and 5, and 29, 16 and 7.
Okay, that's not ridiculous. Who am I thinking of?
That 29, 16 and 7 is the most recent game.
Yeah, 29 and 16 is pretty good, to be fair. But I thought it was going to be a longer trend. Okay, JC, final thoughts on Kings Lakers?
Zero reason to bet the Lakers.
Really?
I can't find
what a heartwarming show we're having today. You guys must have known I had a rough night last night. Boy, music to my ears, JC. It's like the new Taylor Swift just dropped. It's music to my ears. All right, there we have it. We made it through the whole card. Lively chat today. I appreciate that. And like I said, JC, I think it's because they're all here to see you because they know you're going to put me in my place, JC. You're not going to let all the stuff that I do slide. Sometimes Tyler just rolls his eyes and won't call me on it, but you're here to make sure I know where I'm at. All right, Tyler, I placed one bet so far during the show. What are we going to make official?
The Warriors and you're completely on your own. You're on your own in Atlanta because it should have been there yesterday. That's all. I'm just gonna say it one last time.
I'm trying to think of someone who just let something go. Okay, we'll go over each game that I'm considering. I kind of want to bet the Magic. The Wizards suck at home. Can we do it?
I don't mind that one. I mean,
do Magic, it.
Yeah,
I
should do that one.
I kind of want to bet the Hawks, but you said I'm on my own. So we're just.
You can put it on there if you want, but if it blows up, I have nothing to do with that.
Okay. We don't want to play Sixers Grizzlies, right? We're off that game altogether.
I'm not touching that one. I'm not betting the Clippers either because I don't know what the hell is going on in that game. Just give me that Harden points plus assists.
Okay. Bulls?
You can also, I bet Clippers, Harden 20 plus, and it came out at plus 170.
I don't mind that.
And they don't have to cover the spread?
No, just money line.
That's great. Thank you for this one, Matt Smith. Wendell Carter Jr. just came in as a Q tag. Does that affect our view of Orlando?
Care. He's a bum.
He's not a bum. He's a good player.
He has been dog shit since Pat Beverly called him out.
What happened there? I didn't see that.
I forget exactly what he said, but he called him out for something.
He basically called him a bum.
Yeah, basically. That just helps the Denny prop too. That we already bet at plus 180. So
here's the thing about Wendell Carter is who's the white backup? Is it Batadze?
Yeah, he spaces the floor way better than Carter.
I was gonna say it's not that much of a drop off.
It's not even a drop off because it changes their whole flow of offense. It puts a guy out on the 3-line like Paulo and Franz get down there.
Do you remember when Batadze just started catching out Rick Carlisle like a year ago? Just in the middle of the game on the floor. Okay. All right. So thank you for that, Matt. But Tyler is not worried about that. You guys are both approaching the Clippers game through players props, and specifically James Harden, right?
Yeah.
Bulls, Jazz. What did we decide there? Did you want Utah?
I'd rather be on Utah. You like the Bulls. I think they win the game. The whole youth movement.
I told you I gave you control today.
The entire youth movement that they've been pushing for the last week is out on the injury report. And Keontae George and Taylor Hendricks, like they don't have any other young guys to give these minutes to. These minutes are going to Clarkson. Washington would have beat Utah if Keontae George and Hendricks stayed in the game a few nights ago. And Jordan Clarkson went out there and had 38, 10, and 7. He couldn't do that again here.
You want me to plus 3.5?
I think it'd be that way or nothing.
Okay. Thunder laying it.
That way or nothing.
Just let me know. I'm hovering over it right now. Want me to click?
What's actually no, because this could be the bet in this game. What is, because I remember Orlando was listed at like minus 120 for this one. Where is it on FanDuel? Winning at end of every quarter. Oklahoma City's minus 150.
Jeez.
If that was a little bit less, then that was the bet. Because they're going to be winning at the end of the first quarter, and they're never going to look back.
I was going to say, you're basically betting minus 150 on the first quarter money line.
Yeah, and then they're never going to look
I don't
back.
think that's that bad.
I mean, it's really not. I think it's a hell of a parlay piece if you want to use it that way. It's basically okay.
I think you bet it straight.
I mean, you could do that too. I just hate laying minus 150.
Just go look what the first quarter money line is. It's got to be minus 240.
First quarter
if they're minus
is
880.
minus 350.
Damn.
Yeah, that's a great number, Tyler.
Yeah, that's
You're getting a 13.5 point favorite, and like I said, you basically need to win the first quarter, and we're set.
Yeah,
Do you see Portland storming back in the third quarter? I don't. If this is close, it's close from the start. If they don't cover, it's because Portland jumps out to an early lead, and they get ahead. Like the 12-2 game. What was that? The Phoenix game where I was able to double up.
I think they were still winning at the end of the first quarter, though.
But you understand my point. Like if we don't cover as minus 13.5, okay. I like that bet a lot. Do I have that? I don't think I do.
There's probably like a first quarter winner in Moneyline parlay too, but I bet you that pays.
I can't parlay those. I know they won't let me because they won't even let me on Bet Online. They wouldn't even let me.
Yeah, that's minus 240 on FanDuel. Jesus, that minus 150 that way is definitely the way to get on that.
Look and see if Bet Online will give me something like that. All right, while I do that, but do we want to make the 13.5 official? Because I don't hate it.
I feel like it's one of them games where it's like like we're staring at it is the number too big, and in the end they could never set this number high enough.
I already bet it.
Let's just bet it. In worst case scenario, they win the game by like 10, and it's like shucks. Like
so, we're adding it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that on Bet Online either. Oh wait, what's this one?
They played so bad against LA the other night too. You know they're gonna bounce back right here.
Yeah, it's a terrible matchup for him. Okay, I'm gonna look for that later. All right, well, that's what we did though there. Finally, Tyler. I mean, Kings Lakers. This is even if I hadn't handed this over to you, this would be under your domain too, because you know that I'm too emotionally invested in this game to make a.
Your team or pass. I mean, they had the Lakers just matched up great against OKC. AD crushed. They're not going to have that here. Also, do we expect D'Lo to be lights out again like he was last game? He was absolutely lights out against OKC.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know what to do with this game. Like I said, I'm too emotionally invested.
I could definitely see this being one of the LA games where like they think D'Lo's about to go on like a heater for like a week or something, and they keep trying to feed him the ball, and that was a one-game thing, and he shoots them right out of this game. Your call. Is it going on the card or no? How many we got right now? We got
5.
No, we'll just leave it off.
Okay.
I'm going to bet it personally. We'll leave it off. I don't want to load up too many.
Okay. There you have it. JC, thank you for joining us, man. You made the show so much more fun. We're going to bring you on again soon. Final thoughts, or did you want to talk any NFL, or how you feeling?
Man, no, I'm feeling great. No, people don't need NFL talk. There's so much that going around, and it's all pointless at this current juncture.
Okay. No NFL for JC. All right, Tyler. Anything else for the people?
That's it for me, Spread.
All right. Tomorrow, guys. What the fuck?
Got a little vulgar there.
I'm sorry. We lost yesterday. It's like I'm short like 15 cents to put 500 on all these games. What if I do there? No. What if I do there? No. All right. We're gonna do some best ball tomorrow before we come on for this one. So that'll basically be me drafting and Tyler helping me out. But best ball is fun. I did pretty good, man. If I would have had Victor, even if Şengün would have went off 2 days earlier, I could have advanced with what did he have last night, 45-16 or whatever, Tyler. But
Yeah, he had like 40 something.
NBA best ball drafts for the playoffs are fun because you're basically just guessing who's going to advance, right? And like Tatum and Jokic are up top as the top two players, so if you want to get different, like for example, Tyler already said, I don't think the Celtics are going to make the finals, and I know JC had some thoughts on that too. Makes it fun for us because we can target some other teams that we expect to make it, and because of the uncertainty around Embiid, he's going pretty late. But regardless, we're going to see how that shakes out. It's 6-man pods. It should be a quick show. We'll talk a little earlier, but it's not like those regular season best ball drafts where the draft takes like 45 minutes to an hour. The draft will be like 20 to 25 minutes. We're going to do that on FanSpeak. Then we'll log off and we'll jump here on Nuke the House. No guests tomorrow unless I forgot again. So maybe we'll have a guest. But right now, as I think there's none. On Friday, we are going to be on this channel. And we're going to have 5-star in Vegas. And he's going to give out some college basketball plays for the upcoming conference tournament. I'm not personally handicapping. I'll just be tailing. But I figure it's fun. Because now is the time, especially as NBA fans, that we kind of watch because there's some prospects and we're looking ahead to, hey, which of these players do we want our teams to draft? And of course, the urgency of college basketball in March is just something that the NBA cannot match. The one and done in these tournaments, the fact that these kids, most of them, it's their last games of their whole lives. It's really a lot of fun to watch. But it's going to be even more fun getting some winners from a guy who's been handicapping the sport all year, right? He didn't just start handicapping college basketball when the NFL ended. He started in those early tournaments in Hawaii and stuff. So that's what we're doing, and we're going to have some more guests next week. And we're getting more viewers, but guys, we'd love to have even more. We appreciate the lively chat. Retweet the show. Put it in your group chat. JC, we haven't done this for a while, but it's time for words of wisdom.
Yeah, so I didn't get a chance to give it out, but I just want to throw out the prop. Sandy Aldama under 11.5 points. So he's put up 12 plus in his last 2 games, but only once this season has he done 3 games in a row. Really weird. He consistently scores either 7 or like 11 points. So that's a solid prop. And in honor of giving a Grizzlies prop, I just, want to ask the people if they know why Grizzly Bears are so light on their feet. And the reason is they only carry the bare necessities.